if you want to support the channel, I officially have the membership button unlocked. You get snazzy little badges next to your name, and you also get exclusive emotes and community posts. Peace. So I'm seeing a lot of talk about the new movement systems in the PTR that'll be coming in Season 5, and a lot of people are sort of expressing their concerns and things they like, such as freeform movements, and I sort of want to deep dive into certain aspects and why this is a good change, and this is fundamentally going to be great for the game's future and success, and why it's actually a good thing. And I see a lot of people kind of just shit-talking it for no reason when they don't actually fully understand everything that's going on. And the first thing I want to point out is a lot of the gameplay you're actually seeing online, a lot of people are saying, you know, the combat's slow and stuff like that, and I want to preface that a lot of the people you are watching, or even you yourself are playing, are on high ping. I'm on high ping myself, so a lot of the attacks you will see in this video that I'm doing myself and testing are slow because of my ping. And you think, why is the combat slower on high ping? That's ping. That's how it's always been in every single game you've ever played. You have delay if you're on higher ping. I don't know how some people in this MMO space, or especially New World, are new to this concept of higher ping making things slower. That is completely normal, and it's kind of absurd to think that you should have the same experience as someone that's on low ping. That's just not how it works. And a lot of the videos you're seeing online by certain creators, by certain people, even again if you're playing it yourself, could be influenced by the fact of you being on high ping. So to really get a test for this, you need to watch people that have low ping experience it when it comes in Season 5. And now I see people saying this is going to be like the end for New World because it's so bad, and I really don't get why they're saying that when the code, I'm going to pull up the dev post here, is natively compiled in C++. So effectively previous to this, I highly recommend this New World post, by the way, that they put out a couple days ago in regards to the deep dive by the man that actually made the new combat system. It is natively compiled in C++ now. This is the standard programming language for games, and it has been for a long time, and it is flawless, and it is, you know, well loved by a lot of developers. Previous to this, and still in use, is Lua. Lua is effectively, I think the devs sort of explain it in here, Lua is sort of like, effectively I'm going to call it a shell of C++. It's effectively, it has limitations, and it has certain annoyances, is that the word, to it, that the devs really struggled with in the past, and this C++ implementation, or they're calling it Slayer script, overcomes that effectively hurdle. So the first one is that the devs actually had to recompile the game every single time they made a change. This can take minutes and can make making a change very fucking slow. I'm actually going to bring up an example of this. So I'm actually working on my own game, and we're going to use this as an example. So I'm working on a game in Unreal Engine. I'm not going to talk about this here. This is sort of just a personal project as a junior game developer myself and indie game dev. So I'm going to show you what the devs would actually be facing when it comes to making a change. So effectively, the devs would have to recompile the game when they make a change, which could take minutes. So I'm simply going to go into my character here. This is my character blueprint. You don't need to understand any of this tech related stuff. All I'm going to do is go down here, and in this details panel, there's this character speed, right? This is my character's maximum movement speed. So all I'm going to do is set this to 2000. This is absurd, right? So my character's going to be extremely fast. I'm going to compile this. So now the change is made, but I don't know if that change is going to work in game. To test that, I have to run the game in the editor, and this takes minutes, depending on your system, depending on your workflow. If you're working off a server-side system such as Prephs, which is a common industry standard, and especially when you're working with major, gigantic games, it can be very slow. So again, this is taking me so far maybe like 10 to 20 seconds to actually get in game here, and as you can see, I've made my character movement speed absurdly fast. But the idea is they have to go through this process every time they want to make a change. Now I have to close the game, right? So I have to close this, I have to go back in here, I have to go back in here, I have to put this back, I have to compile it, I have to save it, I have to go back in here, save it again. Especially in Lumberyard, this might be a slower process. Unreal Engine is a very updated and modern engine that has a lot of these features. It's a fast engine, right? Like, these changes are definitely fast, but still, again, I couldn't optimize this where I have a way where I can actually tweak in runtime. The thing with Lumberyard is I actually don't know if it's slower than this. It could be slower than this, but this is, again, still quite slow, right? So again, now we're in game, and our character speed is normal again. But effectively, the idea is now that they've introduced C++ natively in their game, they can make a change. So what I just did there to that movement speed, I can make that in the editor now. So I'm going to drag this over here. I don't think this will work. This will probably crash. But effectively, you could make this change, and it would natively work inside this runtime here. So I could increase the movement speed, or increase a value, or decrease a value, let's say the damage of an ability, and that would directly work in runtime, which means I wouldn't have to go through that whole compiling process that I just did there. I hope this is sort of a less nerdy and more simplified approach to what I'm trying to explain. But effectively, in this runtime, in this game I'm playing right now, they could make a tweak and it would instantly go through instead of them having to reload the game effectively. That's what I'm trying to say. So what this actually means for the developers is it's going to be much faster for them to make changes to the game. So whenever there's a bug, whenever there's an animation that's acting slow, it's going to be much faster for them to change. Which brings me on to my second point, that we know that I've seen people express concerns that the ability queuing on the PTR is very slow. I actually can't test this myself. In general, everything is slow for me because of my high ping. But I've heard from people in the States, that are actually playing on the US PTR, people in the EU that are actually playing on the EU PTR with low ping, that ability queuing is very slow. And I think that is a valid complaint, and people are saying, they can't let this get to live. They definitely won't let that get to live. They're not going to ruin the game and make something that's worse. But the idea the fact that the game is now natively compiled in C++ allows the developers to actually make changes very fast, and you will actually see less bugs, faster changes, faster balance patches, and again, faster updates around everything combat related. They're probably going to expand their C++ implementation into other features of the game. I believe in this dev post, they did actually state that they've already implemented into dungeons, whether that be for triggers, some triggers, all that kind of stuff, runtime, begin plays and stuff like that. Effectively, what I'm trying to say is, by the time we get Season 5, maybe they have to delay it by a couple weeks, but honestly, I truly believe most of the concerns will be addressed by the time it hits Season 5. Now, there's a few other things I want to discuss, is freeform movements. I see a lot of people saying this is a bad thing for one reason. When I press S and I'm going towards my camera, I see people complaining that you're opening your back up to backstabs, and I'm kind of like, that doesn't really make sense, because if I hold block, it's going to rotate your camera to that crosshair position, so you can literally just instantly block and move like this. You're not really opening yourselves up to backstabs when you can instantly block. And that's actually something else I want to mention. The devs have actually made block a priority now, which is really nice. So yeah, effectively, I guess a melee attack. So blocking actually takes priority over attacks now. Look how cool that is. So blocking is actually going to be very useful now. That is most things I want to discuss with you guys today. We have a lot more videos coming out. I have a video trying every single ability on the PTR coming out in a couple of days. Then we have a new video testing the artifact, specifically for Dex, if the Nature's Wrath is actually better than the Attune of the Pant. So stay tuned for that one. But until then, there's not really much more I can say. I got the membership unlocked, so if you want to support the channel, that's a way to do it. You get snazzy little badges that will sit next to your name. You get a couple exclusive emotes. That is basically everything, and I'll see you guys in the next one. AGS, if you want to reach out to me and you need a dev, this is my email. Peace.